When Jurgen Klopp announced he was leaving Liverpool, it felt like the beginning of the end. The man who brought the Champions League back to Anfield, who ended the 30-year wait for a Premier League title, who turned doubters into believers. How do you replace that? Most people expected a rough landing, a step backwards, maybe even a total reset. But what happened next caught everyone off guard. Because instead of spiraling, Liverpool stayed standing. More than that, they kept playing with purpose, with intensity, with belief. And leading them, a relatively unknown Dutch coach named Arne Slot. No big reputation, no Premier League experience, just a clear vision, and somehow a squad ready to follow. So how did Liverpool manage one of the most seamless managerial transitions in modern football? What did Arne Slot change? What did he keep? And why is this new Liverpool already turning heads? To understand how Liverpool moved forward, we need to look back at how it all ended. Jurgen Klopp didn't leave Liverpool because he was forced out. He left because he gave everything and knew he had nothing more to give.
How can I say that? Running out of energy?
It wasn't a bitter breakup, it was a goodbye built on respect, on love, on exhaustion. When he announced his departure in January, it sent a shockwave across the football world.
Devastated. I thought it was a joke when I was first told.
And for Liverpool fans, that hurt more than any defeat. Klopp's final season could have easily turned into a farewell tour, a sentimental victory lap. But it didn't. His team, younger, re-energized, rebuilt, after the disappointments of the 2022-23 campaign, fought like it was his first season, not his last. They went toe-to-toe with City and Arsenal for the title, won the Carabao Cup with a squad full of kids. And though they ultimately fell short, Klopp left without the club falling apart around him, a rare thing in modern football. More importantly, Klopp didn't just leave behind memories. He left behind a machine that was ready to run. The painful rebuild? He'd already done it. The awkward transition phase, the farewell to club legends, the patchwork midfield that once struggled, all of that was in the past. By the time Klopp walked out of Anfield for the last time, Liverpool had quietly transformed. It wasn't just talent, it was balance. Klopp's final gift to Liverpool wasn't a trophy, it was stability. A core of players ready to fight for the future, not just live in the past. So when Arne Slot arrived, he didn't inherit a broken club gasping for identity. He inherited a team ready for the next step. They just needed someone bold enough to take it. But even with all that going for him, Slot still had a mountain to climb. Because following Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool isn't just a new job. It's stepping into the shoes of a man who became a legend. It's walking into Anfield knowing you're not the man the fans fell in love with, and might not be for a long time. It's having every training session, every substitution, every result compared to someone who changed the club forever. And yet, Arne Slot didn't flinch. So who exactly is Arne Slot? And how did he step into one of the most intimidating jobs in world football without missing a beat? For many Liverpool fans, Slot wasn't the dream name. He wasn't Xabi Alonso. He wasn't a proven Premier League figure. He was a coach from Feyenoord, a man with no Premier League experience. But beneath the unfamiliar name was something that Liverpool's top brass saw clearly. A tactician who didn't just win, but built teams that played with control, intensity, and cohesion. At Feyenoord, Slot wasn't just successful, he was transformative. He took a club that had fallen behind and turned them into Dutch champions, playing aggressive, vertical football with an emphasis on pressing and fluidity. Sound familiar? That style, that philosophy, was no coincidence. It mirrored the very DNA Klopp had spent years hardwiring into Liverpool. Slot wasn't coming in to rip everything up. He was coming in to continue the evolution. That's what made him the perfect successor. He spoke the same footballing language, but with his own unique accent. And crucially, he wasn't overwhelmed by the shadow of Klopp. He didn't try to copy the charisma or the chest-thumping celebrations. He brought calm, method, presence. Slot approached the role not like someone trying to replace a legend, but like someone earning the right to write his own chapter. He respected the past, but didn't get lost in it. And that quiet confidence, that steady hand, made all the difference in a dressing room already full of belief. When a new manager arrives, change is inevitable. But the brilliance of Liverpool's transition wasn't in how much changed, it was in how much didn't. Arne Slot didn't walk into Melwood with a wrecking ball. He walked in with a blueprint, one that respected the foundation Klopp built while quietly shifting the structure. The famous gegenpress wasn't scrapped, it was refined. The intensity remained, but now with more control in possession. Slot's teams are known for tactical flexibility, and that slowly started to show. In the build-up patterns, in how Liverpool recycle the ball, in the balance between risk and patience. But the essence of the team, that fire, that forward-thinking, fearless energy, it stayed. The fullbacks still bomb forward. The press still suffocates opponents. And the front line, still unpredictable, still electric. What Slot changed wasn't the soul, it was the rhythm. And somehow, it's working. The players have bought in. The performances haven't dropped. If anything, there's a quiet sense that this team is just getting started. Because Slot didn't come in to replace Klopp's ideas, he came in to upgrade them. And the early signs, they're more than promising. No matter how seamless a transition looks on the surface, reality has a way of asking tougher questions. And for Liverpool, those questions have come faster than anyone expected. The departure of Trent Alexander-Arnold was already a brutal blow. He wasn't just a right-back, he was a symbol. A Scouser who grew up with the club in his blood. A Champions League winner. A playmaker in disguise who redefined how full-backs could control a game. Losing him wasn't just a tactical issue, it was spiritual. It left a hole in the heart of the squad. But before Liverpool could even begin to adjust, came the kind of moment no club, no fan, no family should ever have to face. The tragic passing of Diogo Jota. We could spend hours talking about his goals. But the truth is, the humanity in Diogo Jota transcended all of that. He wasn't just a forward. He was quiet strength. He was humility. He was the kind of teammate who didn't need the spotlight to shine. On the pitch, he was clutch, fearless, the one you could always rely on to step up when it mattered most.
Absolutely incredible!
But off the pitch, he was a human being, deeply loved and respected by his family, his teammates, his managers, and the fans who tirelessly sang his name as he covered every blade of grass at Anfield. His loss isn't just a football tragedy, it's a deep scar that will take much more than time to even begin to heal. Arne Slot now faces his most human challenge. This isn't about tactics, this is about emotion, pain, holding a squad together when one of their own is suddenly heartbreakingly missing. This is where identity matters most. Not the kind that lives on a tactics board, but the one that lives in the soul of a club. Liverpool have always been more than players, more than silverware. This is a club built on rising through pain, on standing together when everything feels broken. And now they carry the weight of absence. Still, they must go on, not just for points, not just for trophies, but for pride, for memory, for each other. Slot has earned early trust. But this next chapter, this is where he'll be tested. Not when everything is working, but when everything hurts. Klopp built a dynasty on belief. Now Slot must prove that belief doesn't leave with the players, and that this team can still rise, even in the shadow of loss. So here we are, a new man in the dugout, a new rhythm on the pitch, and yet the same heartbeat still echoes through Anfield. Some faces have changed, some legends have moved on, and some losses have left a silence too heavy for words. But Liverpool, real Liverpool, was never just about the players who wore the shirt. It's about the spirit they left behind. Fire, belief, grit, magic. And now, with new faces arriving and a new chapter unfolding, Arne Slot isn't rebuilding. He's reloading, adding strength to a squad already fueled by passion, unity, and unfinished business. These signings are more than just footballing decisions. They're reminders that Liverpool is still moving forward even when the journey hurts. There will be pressure. There will be doubt. The throne once built on belief is now being tested. But maybe that's what makes this next chapter even more meaningful. Because this team isn't just playing for titles. They're playing for something bigger, for the legacy that came before them and the spirit that will carry them forward. The road ahead won't be easy, but it will be fearless. And Liverpool, as they've done so many times before, will walk it together.